This, as you say, is the horse that was previously ridden by Luis Sabino Gonçalves, and she's also jumped a couple of Nations Cups with this horse as well. And she's had this horse in a number of 5-star Grand Prix. Nice to see them out in this major class of the day this afternoon. And of course, she's been a key part of the Trailblazers as well.
Absolutely.
Coming onto their squad as one of 4 new riders following that mid-season transfer window, and really made a mark already for the team, and certainly made a mark in the individual categories as well on the Major League circuit.
Easily through that line so far for Lily Keenan. Two, three, four. There we go. Nicely done. Kendall getting to a little bit of the bottom of that with the previous combination. Nice shot from Lily Keenan there. Again, Arkan just airborne, loving the grass. Absolutely popping off this perfect turf. A little bit more pace to this one, so going to be sure to be okay for time. Can just squeezed in there. I think he even got down to the 6th there, 75.11, which you can down to the last. Few options to play with. Takes them to 75.11 as a time, so gives us clear round number 1 for Lily Keenan and Argan de Belliard. Good start from Lily, already coming out fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see one rider already through to the jump off, and it's quite a star-studded lineup in this competition. There are some really great horses to come. A couple of the top riders having some newer horses as well, but there's certainly a really exciting lineup of horse talent here.
So from Lily Keenan, who's on hot form, to Margie Goldstein-Engel, the lady that's led the way for so long. Dicas for the Gladewinds partners, of course, hailing from Miami originally, based over in Wellington, Florida. 13-year-old by Diorado. Dicas now well established with Margie. Winner across all coasts in the US and across to Europe as well, of course. Lovely to see her with us these weeks. Of course, 2 weeks of competition here at the Desert Horse Park.
Yes, very exciting to have the 2 weeks here. Of course, this week we're jumping during the daytime and on the grass ring, whereas next week we'll be jumping under lights on the Sand Grand Prix arena. Dicas, though, a really reliable partner for Margie. She's had some brilliant results with this horse very recently as well. She was 4th in the Major League 5-star Grand Prix at Toronto, and also was 7th in a 5-star Grand Prix in New York with this horse too. But she's also ridden Dicas on the team competitions quite a few times for the Spy Coast Spies, and she's jumped 5 clears. Fantastic clear round rate. This pair have a great clear round rate in general as well. 54% of the time clear at 1.50 meters. And you can just see the height that this horse gets. Great ground cover as well. It's just something that's really invaluable around an arena like this.
Just coming on the 4 faults there for Margie, 73.79. Margie Goldstein-Engel and Dicas just finishing on the 1 down this time for her. Little replay. Dicas just pinging through that line without any trouble at all, but 1 down on the course for them. So 1 clear with Lily Keenan and Argan de Belliard. 4 faults there for Margie Goldstein-Engel and Dicas. And heading to another of the riders hailing from this part of the world is going to be on to Natalie Dean now, a Coterem for the Marigold Sport Horses. A 9-year-old by Toulon that's looked very impressive so far this year.
Yes, very impressive this year. The horse is just a 9-year-old, as you say, and one that she's been riding since earlier this year. The horse was brought on by Heinrich Richter of Germany. Again, she's been jumping in a few of our Major League Show Jumping 5-star Grand Prix. In Ottawa, placing 5th, and then also 5th in the 5-star jump-off class, much like this competition there as well. She also did well in Toronto, but in the 2-star competitions with this horse. And she's done very well in some under-25 Grand Prix with this horse too in Wellington. but Natalie becoming ever more consistent. She is a rider for Team Logano. But she's been in the top 10 in the under 25 world rankings for quite some time now. And in order to be ranked that highly, you really do need the consistency.
Nice skip along on the four, just on the 4 faults at the moment, but the 4 strides there. The Marston Sterling style catches a few. White plain, easy to just pop into as they did, so puts them on the 8 at the moment. Caterham getting some very good experience here this year, moving into more of these big classes. Small horse, plenty of jump though. Gets out, I think, down to almost the 8 there, down the last, which is to say they can play with different options down to the final fence. On the 8, 73.86, so no trouble for time. Natalie Dean and Caterham finishing on the 8. Brand Advisory, and then just getting a little tangle over that Marston Sterling style. So Natalie Dean there on the 8, 4 from Margie Engel, 2 from Kendall Bourgeois, and Lily Keenan on the clear so far. And Kyle King now with Chess for the Chess partnership. Kyle, another of the West Coast riders that's made his name on the Major League Jumping. Fantastic season last year as well. Newer partnership with Chess. Big striding horses, walking the course with him, talking about the striding he's having here. It's going to be 1 or 2 less than the fences than most of the others are from that point of view. Just a really great ground cover, a super horse for him to have. Nick de la Joyo, previous rider as well, and the partnership coming together with Kyle now in the saddle on this 11-year-old horse that was ridden at one point by Kent Farrington as well, amongst others, by Bufero, Van Het, Pandashov, but looking to build on those successes, but had good win with Etalon a few weeks ago as well.
Oh yes, with Etalon he's been going extremely well. Had a couple of wins with him very recently. Really on-form rider with that horse. Chess, as you say, a horse that he's now finding the partnership with. Just had a little bit of a couple of time penalties and fence down in the 5-star Grand Prix at Monterey. Did well in a 2-star competition the previous week there though, placing 7th. We also jumped well at Vancouver together, having 2 top 10 finishes in the 3-star competitions there. But yes, Kyle taking over the reins in the summer of this year from Nick de la Joyo, who actually rode the horse at our Major League leg in Vancouver.
Ooh, and just unfortunately trouble at the triple bar. Got a little tight for them down to the golden plank. And then a little unbalance coming over that triple. So just unfortunately didn't land right. Runs out of space coming down to the Calladay fence. And so has to take a circle. Now just looking to build it into a nice quiet finish. And they're getting down to the last to take the last fence with them as well. Just unfortunately opens up onto that final pole. Tolu 20 with time added in there, 85.88 for Kyle King and Chess. So not quite the round they wanted. It was going quite well until the triple bar, but unfortunately just, I'm afraid, the edges come off there. $74,200 Whittier Trust 150. Time allowed is 78 seconds here this afternoon. One clear at this stage with Lily Keenan and Arganda Belliard. Cassio Rivetti. And for the Brazilian rider, again now competing over here on the West Coast through the season. Chattanooga. Chattanooga is for the HF Farms, the 12-year-old Oldenburg by Cornet Sprints for Cassio. Again, a horse that hasn't had too many outings with him, I don't think, so far into the big classes.
Yeah, Cassio himself had a great result in our earlier competition this morning, placing 2nd there. But yes, this is a horse that he's been riding since the summer of this year. He rode this horse in Tryon and at Las Vegas as well. The horse was previously ridden by Laura Heiter of the USA. And then earlier back in this horse's career in 2019 by Angelica Augustin Zanatelli as well.
Yeah, so with the Swedish World Cup winning rider before that, then Laura Height, as you say, of the US here from California. Angelica, partner of Marlon Zanatelli, she herself winner in Helsinki this year of the World Cup qualifier there. Nice move away from the Caladay fence. Good controlled run from Cassio, who's competed in a number of major championships right through to Olympic Games. Just at the time of 78, just maybe going to squeeze under it. Yes, he does. 77.16. On just the 4 so far for Cassio Rivetti and Chattanooga to go into 4th place at the moment. So developing partnership there, but a highly capable rider indeed. Just that one fence down, just catches that one in front of the triple combination as they stretch forward on the 4 then. One clear at this point with Lily Keenan and Agan de Belliard. Going to be heading over to Ireland's Mark Kinsella now, and Mark also based on the West Coast too. Quality H, an 11-year-old, the Hanoverian by Quaid on the lines of Shakira for the German-bred horse for the Irish rider, now based here in the United States for a long time now. On the lineup this week, looks like for the Spyco squad as well. Teams actually can also substitute a rider in, can't they, from a local rider? I think it's twice a season.
Yes, twice in the season, yeah. So I think Mark is on the squad for the Spyco Spies this week, which would be the first time for him. Spyco's have a pretty strong lineup already. It'll be interesting to see if Mark chooses to ride this horse for the team competition. He's actually given this horse a little bit of a break from international competition for a couple of months. Last saw this horse in competition in Ottawa back in August. He jumped in the 5-star competitions there in Ottawa and also at Angelstone at our Major League leg there. But Mark has been riding this horse since the back end of last year. It was previously with Ben Asselin of Canada and Nikolai Heinroos of Denmark before that.
Yeah, it was based up in Canada and the Spruce Meadows team. Still on the clear at the moment. Time-wise, should be just about sitting all right. Just got to control the pace through this double. Sits up for the vertical. Just going to get it right. The last, yes, they do. 75.37 going clear there for Mark Kinsella, and Quality H gives us clear round number 2. Rounds of applause coming from down below our commentary box. And it is so far Lily Keenan and Mark Kinsella as the clears at this stage. So the Irishman helping to guarantee a jump off in this Whittier Trust 150 here this afternoon. And Alec Lawler, Fiolita is going to be our next, other of the West Coast riders, on a 12-year-old by Carambol. We'll have seen him on another horse as well, which has been very successful for him. Won a Grand Prix up in Traverse City too, which was for gold. And now returning more to home ground. On to the local Roadrunners team this time around as well.
Yes, I'm sure the Roadrunners will be keen for a good result. They're sitting in 6th place in the season standings at the moment. So, you know, a good result here could see them climb the ranks a little bit. Don't think they're going to be challenging for the win. But this is a new partnership for Alec. As you say, he's been jumping very successfully with 4 Gold. This horse, though, was with Michael Grieve until very recently, until the summer. Now Alec really getting the partnership going. Michael Grieve has competed this horse in a number of high-profile competitions in Valkenswaard, Knocker-Hippie, Rotterdam, in 5-star Grand Prix, also in the Longines Grand Prix of Switzerland as well.
Yeah, look who's on the team previous as well at Traverse City back into August as well. That was on 4 gold on that occasion too. As they had a Grand Prix win there back into June. Unfortunately, pulls off the top bars of the Major League fence on a score of 8 at the moment. But as you say, new partnership with this one from Willem Grover. And just coming home on the 8 faults at this point. Plenty of places to catch them around the course. And Michel Vaillancourt getting 2 clears out of his track so far. 1 for time there as well, 78.61. But again, with Fiolita as a newer combination, not a bad round at all, finishing on the 9 for US rider Alec Lawler. 7th spot at the moment. Lorcan Gallagher now, and for the Irishman, that's US based, with the 9-year-olds by Comme Il Faut. This is Copycat. And for Lorcan, Copycat getting a bit more exposure this year as well. 9-year-old, of course, has been jumping Hunter's Con Lips, so 2 into the big classes. Good to see that combination out. They were last out in Traverse City, but Copycat, Kentucky at the Horse Park back in October was their last FEI outing from that point of view. Lorcan based over in Florida.
Yeah, they were jumping up to 3-star level in Kentucky, and they were doing some 2 stars in Traverse City as well as up to the 3-star level. So this is actually Lorcan's first 5-star competition with this horse. First 5-star week with this horse. The horse was with Stephanie Holman of Sweden before, who rode the horse quite extensively up to 5-star level.
Yeah, a couple of the World Cups and shows and so forth as well. So she has some good exposure so far, but only 8 years of age on that occasion. Just rattles that front bar at 10, just getting quite quick down that line in the end. A little woe from Lorcan coming into the double. Looking good though, 1 fence from home, and they seem to be getting the recipe of that final line without too much trouble. Going clear there at 73.86 for Lorcan Gallagher, and Copycat to put them into the jump off as well. Joins fellow Irishman Mark Kinsella and now US rider Lily Keenan too. So Lorcan Gallagher in the frame with Copycat. And keeping up the Irish feel, Connor Swale. Connor and Theo 160. Super run again from him through the World Cup shows this season as well, and of course for Major League he's been popping those wins together for the world number 5. Lorcan putting in a good round now. Connor Swale to try and follow that up without any trouble at all. I would be probably putting money on this to follow it up.
Yes, I would think so. It's been a great combination. Connor himself, of course, extremely on form, and they come here fresh from 3 podium finishes in Las Vegas. 1 third place in a 2-phase, a 2nd place in the All-In Speed Classic, and a win in the Jacks or Better winning round competition there. Connor's also had wins for the team with Theo this year as well. He's been a really key part of Team Eye Candy. But he's really managed his horses so well this year to make sure that he's got the consistency across various different locations, and also to make sure that the horses individually are managed extremely well, and that's allowed him to maintain that consistency.
Absolutely. He's been, with us in Mexico, then headed up to be in the top groups there in Toronto as well. He'll head out to Europe as well over the next couple of weeks too for the final big World Cup shows there, as well as being part here of Major League. So he's got them well positioned around the globe, all well worked out, but it is truly a global sport right now. But a regular here on the West Coast as well throughout the winter seasons too. Again, has made his presence felt, winning a lot through here in Desert Horse Park, and then, as we say, into those World Cups. Washington, of course, on his win list this year as well. And this could be on his win list too. There's we go, 73.74 on the clear for Connor Swale and Theo 160. So puts up another of the clears on the 10-year-old for Team Phillip Arts. And it is 4 zeros at the moment with Lily Keenan, Mark Kinsella with Lorcan Gallagher and Connor Swale. Little pick of grass. It's lovely grass. Nice succulent few bits of tufts there on the way out. Arturo Parada, previous Central American Games medalist, from individual bronze through to team silver. Now again part of the teams for the local team here, for the Roadrunners team. And unfortunately early rail for them at the CP fence. This time with Bakot, horse that's actually featured with us in Monterey.
Yeah, it's a shame having these early fences down. He did extremely well in the 5-star Grand Prix in Monterey to finish 3rd place. Just one of 3 riders to get through to the jump off there. But he also had a 4-star win at Quapexpan in October as well with this horse. And had a couple of podium finishes at Guadalajara as well. They were at 2-star level. But certainly that performance in Monterey, and also the performances at San Miguel as well, would, I'm sure, give Arturo a lot of confidence with this horse for the 5-star competitions here this week. So it's just a bit unfortunate that they've had those fences down, but could be a combination to watch for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, coming in on the 12 has another down, just not quite in there. Rhythm as they were previously here for this round at the moment. Going to leave them with a little bit of time to add to. Going to be 2 for time, total of 18 in all, 79.31 for Arturo Parada. And Bakot this time for the French-bred ride for the Mexican rider. So 4 currently booking their place to come back for the jump off at the moment in this Whittier Trust 150. Familiar figure on the Major League of Paul O'Shea of the Eye Candy team, and of Ireland. Caricina HD, again, long time being based over in Florida. World Championship rider for the Irish as well. Caricina for the Trelawney Farmers and Limrold by Carico. A pretty new acquisition for them as well. He's only probably had about 3 or 4 rounds on this horse so far.
Yes, 3 previous international rounds with this horse, one being at Washington and a couple in Wellington. Been 5th twice with Paul so far, one being at 5-star level and one being at 3-star level. So yeah, it's a really quite a new partnership, and this horse was with Sasha Nygaard Andreasen of Denmark previously.
Well, either way, unfortunately, first fence coming down there for Paul and Caricina. For the same owners, of course, as Chancelloress. Has been so successful with him. Nice balance run down to the plank. Horse at 11 years of age, of the age to be an absolute prime, to be a top finishing horse for him at this point. Hit the maturity. Well, if we finish just at the 4 of the first fence, it's going to be a little bit of what's been a good round, maybe a little bit frustrating. again, he just gets out to get the 8 there. On the 4 with time to add, and total of 7. But again, when they're putting that in the experience book, they'll put that down as a good round overall. 80.41, not too many problems there. Nice run, really tucking up right up to the ears through the double. Looking like a very exciting horse for Paul O'Shea to have in the string to go into battle with over the next 12 months. Carusina and Paul O'Shea going into 8th place there with a little bit of time added to take them to an overall score of 7. And Ashley Bonds and with Stalhorn's Garfield. Garfield, an 11-year-old by Chelthago Z. Again, one that we haven't seen up to now. It's a new one for her as well.
Yes, it is a new one for Ashley. I mean, she's such a fantastic rider, especially in terms of speed. We've seen her be very quick recently. But yes, this is a new ride for her. This is one that was with Caroline Müller of Germany until July of this year. And she competed this horse up to 2-star level. So Ashley now taking on the reins, and I think has been spending a little bit of time getting to know the horse, and now stepping up to 5-star level. She's got a good few strong horses in her string. Of course, we saw her win the 5-star Grand Prix in Monterey most recently. And nice to see her have a new ride to also start to step up to this level as well, just to back up those existing established horses.
Yeah, from Hans Horn, the part of the setup for the Israeli team. Chef to keep there. And Ashley, of course, originally here from California, these days based over in Florida. But I'm sure lovely to be back nearer home. Just finishing on the 474.65 for Ashley and Garfield. Just a little pop there to bounce that one out of the cups at the Cabana Coast fence. But otherwise, on the 4 into 7th place so far. Carrie Rufer now, and the dependable 13-year-old for the Morningstar Sport Horses. Another rider literally based down the road from here. Carrie with Mr. Europe by Mr. Blue, and another very consistent contender here in California. Has been mainly based out here for this season. Has travelled a bit more before now, but this season mainly been based around these shows on the West Coast with Sacramento and here at the Desert Horse Park.
Yeah, really good 5th place in Sacramento back in October for them at the 4-star level. That was in a speed class. And then Carrie's also had some really consistent results with this horse. Lots of top 10 finishes, including a win here in Thermal back in February at the 3-star level. Also had a 2nd place in the 3-star Grand Prix here, and a 2nd place in the 2-star winning round as well at the back end of last year. So it's definitely a venue that has been good to them in the past.
Absolutely, and for her finishing well with Stenda Folletti with some good wins in Sacramento recently, the World Cup show there. Comes in with confidence. Gets the next all right at 10, but unfortunately just forward into that Marshall and Sterling vertical. Clips that out of the cups. Had a very good run through the likes of Sacramento, getting help from Irishman Cameron Hanley, and finishing on a score of 8 there, 76.14 for Carrie Rufer this time, and Mr. Europe to take them into 11th place at this stage. Clears at the moment, let's remind you of those. A.R. Lily Keenan, Mark Kinsler, Lorcan Gallagher, and Connor Swale at the moment. So what have we got? Three for Ireland, 1 for the USA. Eric Croyd now, and Cactus de Cusnier for the Canadian rider. And Eric with the 10-year-old here by Paduk Duplessis. One of the two brothers competing as they've been coming through as young riders into the higher level now. And Eric Fim, I think, also had a trip to Europe as well as being a part of the lineup for the Traverse City shows, etc. I think, if I remember right, he was on the Young Rider Nations Cup finals.
Yes, he was in Kronenberg back in September last year. Also had a really good win in the Challenge Cup at that very same show. And then also did extremely well at the North American Youth Championships as well. He's had some good successes there over the years. This year achieved the team bronze medal with this horse. That was at the young rider level. And then last year, team silver in the junior category. And then team gold in the children's category. That was back in 2018, though.
Yeah, as you say, bronze at the Young Rider Championship. Still only 18 years of age. So very early on into his career, as is obvious. But yes, on to the Nations Cup team recently for the Canadians in Kronenberg.
He's actually had a 5-star win at Spruce Meadows earlier on this year with this horse as well.
Yeah. Unbalance coming down there, just ends up in the wrong spot and just has to take a circle, unfortunately, for Eric. Nicely through this time, but just not quite working out for this round. Still good, and so there we go on the 27 in total to add in there for time 92.06, but a decent finish with Cactus Conier. Again, move up for this pair, as you say. They've been competing in the likes of Spruce Meadows before, but again, not such a regular set of outings in the 5 stars for them, but a nice 5-star win back into June of this year, or more home ground there. But there we go. It is final score of 27 for Eric. Rodrigo Lamre, Chapilot for Mario Nate now. The Hanoverian by Chaco Blue for the Brazilian rider. Also onto that squad for the Spike Coast team as well. Spike Coast can be really interesting. Got a real sort of shake-up of what they've got coming up for their team this week. Bearing in mind we're going into the final 2 stages of the tour. And next week, of course, the big final as well, with double points up for that one.
Yeah, I think it will be really, really interesting. They've had 5 second places as a team so far, and they're sitting in 3rd place at the moment. The Eye Candy team have just pipped them into 3rd place, while Team Helios, of course, are still leading the way. But they've had a lot of riders who've been really consistently performing for the team, the likes of Lacey Gilbertson, Jordan Coyle as well, been so key for the Spy Coast Spies. But Rodrigo Lambre, of course, also a great partner to Chapilot, and done very well with him in our previous legs. I jumped this horse in the 2 stars, though, in Monterey. Had 2 5th place finishes. And then also jumped in 1 5-star class at San Miguel. Had a couple of fences down in that competition. But he's had wins at 2-star level at San Miguel earlier in the year, as well as at Puebla and Guadalajara.
Just having to get quite a strong hold round that turn. Time's looking good for Rodrigo and Chapilot. And a good finish will put them into the jump off as well. So adding Brazil into the mix, 74.51 is the time, so okay for time. And there we go. It is Rodrigo Lamre and Chapilot into our jump off lineup. 5 of those in the jump off so far for this Whittier Trust 150, $74,200 class to be exact for this 5-star. Daniel Coyle coming into view, birthday boy as well. Daniel, happy birthday to you. We'll see Rodrigo Lambre heading out and move on to Daniel Coyle. There he is. Another year ticked off, a successful year indeed. Ariel Grange's Quintin, 12-year-old by Caprice Bois Margot. And it was a long-time partner with this horse. Hyde Moffat was riding this for a little while, and now back in the hands of Daniel can be a a super winning horse. And again, this might be a class that really suits them.
Yeah, as you say, Daniel's had a really brilliant year, been very consistent with a number of different horses and really just making his mark at so many different shows. But this was a really strong partner for Hyde Moffat. This is Daniel's second show back with this horse. Rode this horse at the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto for 2 top 10 finishes, a 4th place in a 5-star speed class and a 7th place in the Royal Centennial Cup. So certainly getting this partnership to a good start here as well. That being, of course, quite a different arena, quite a different atmosphere, but the horse is really pretty established as well under Hyde Moffat, who's jumped the horse in a number of 5-star Grand Prix. Hyde's actually also jumped the horse on the Major League team competition. That was at Angelstone Tournaments, our leg near to Toronto.
I did say it might suit them. There we go. Quintin and Daniel Coyle producing the clear 76-16. They can be a very fast pairing. I say they had a long established partnership previously as well. So Daniel Coyle for the Irishman on the Crusader squad could stand a chance here as well. So could it be a birthday success for Mr. Coyle this time around? Lovely view back to the mountains here in, well, basically nearest town being La Quinta, I suppose, from that point of view, down here at the Desert Horse Park, just on the edge of Coachella. And lots that goes on here as well. I mentioned Coachella, of course, the famous festival just up the road. That's in April. And golf we got coming up in January as well with the American Express over in La Quinta as well. Tennis at Indian Wells, not too far away, that major tournament as well taking place through the winter. And of course a big program here at the Desert Horse Park as well. Not just this beautiful arena that was created last year for the events here at the Desert Horse Park, but of course I think it's around 14 arenas they've got running at the moment today and over the coming days of competition for the Desert Horse Park. So lots to be had, something for everyone all the way through. Hunters, jumpers, all competing here at the Desert Horse Park. It's been so beautifully presented and put together by the team here and the partners behind this now. It's really lifted this up to a new level. Well done to all of them as they've produced a next stage event venue here once again, and not sitting on the laurels either. They've got sort of a lot more to come out of this over the coming years. It's going to be very exciting to see everything here happening at the Desert Horse Park. But in the meantime, a little bit of a chillier day, only just a touch. It's still very pleasant. Still sitting here in just a light sweater, as they'd say. But otherwise, very nice indeed. A little bit more heat coming out of the rest of the week, but we are in the desert and all the lovely environment that comes with that. Surrounded by the palm trees in the run-up to Christmas. No complaints about that either. Lots of lights on the trees, lots of Christmas music, lots of the ambience and the build-up to those big prezzies in a few weeks' time. But in the meantime, just getting set up for our next one coming up. Daniel Coyle giving us the latest of the clears with Quintin. So what's that, 6 clears so far? Lily Keenan, Mark Kinsella, Lorcan Gallagher, Connor Swale, Rodrigo Lamre, and Daniel Coyle. Just looking across, we've got our next coming in now, which will be James Arkins of Australia. And he made the move over here to the US, including with his horse, Eurostar, that was a winner for him in World Cups over in Australia. And then this season being part of the teams for the Australians back into Florida. They were based over in Ocala direction, I think, for some of that time too. The 10-year-old by Diorado for James. So good to see him changing the nations up once again. A few more of the Australians starting to appear in the US alongside Rowan Willis. Matt Williams, of course, who's another regular here, who's ridden through to Olympic level on more than one occasion. And Eurostar with James Arkins. Good established partnership now in the US, Hannah.
Yes, it is very established partnership. This was James' horse for the World Championships in Herning this year as well. very established partnership. He also jumped this horse in the World Cup in Las Vegas. Just had a couple of fences down in that competition, but as you say, he's jumped Nations Cups with this horse. He's jumped various 5-star competitions at venues like Spruce Meadows as well, and been successful in Wellington. His last competition down in Australia was in 2021, so very much established over this side of the world in recent months, and certainly this year especially.
Yeah, had a couple of outings on the Australian Nations Cup team, including in Canada before heading to those World Championships. Australia not getting as many opportunities into the Nations Cups as say some of the European teams, so taking full advantage of those in the US and Canada in the build-up. James looking good so far. Again, full belief in how talented this horse was as well to come over here and base over here, get into the big competitions. Just needs to keep coming. Will be okay. Just I think for time, 76.92. Yes, there we go. James Arkins and Eurostar will railroad their way into that jump off as well. It's Karan number 7, adding in the flag of Australia. Again, pops through there neatly enough. Just so tidy in front. 7 in the game then for the jump off at this point. Still around 16, 17 left to come, just over the halfway mark of this Whittier Trust sponsored class. Kristen van der Veen will be due next, and we see James just making his way out. Just going at a steady pace at the moment. I think whether we've be back into our next one at the moment. 7 clears at this point as we've run down that list for you. James Arkins now added on there. So let's just remind you over what's happening over the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow being Saturday, team event here into the afternoon, with the penultimate stage of the Major League Show Jumping Team Competition. Then on to Sunday for the Grand Prix. Next week, keep a note of the diary because it's Thursday for the team event. Thursday, so different again. Saturday for the Grand Prix, and that'll be under lights. So that'll be over in the stadium there as well. Here's the latter part of the class. This is what it'll look like with Kristen van der Veen. Bull Runs Risen. Patricia Pascal, Sering Gat. Erin Ballard still to come with Kalana Den Fernal Nasser, still to come with El Conde, Derek Kenny, Volney de Boisneville, Alberto Micha, Nabal de Trevera, Carrie Potter, another of the local riders here with Ariel de Sarien, Canada's Jacqueline Steffens, and Freaky Bliss Here's Antidote de Mars from Las Vegas, Nevada. So getting a little bit closer to her home ground here as well, and that will still leave us around about 8 left to go into that class, but this is the next lineup of who's coming up in this class at this point. And just seeing, there we go, final lineup of those to come. Carl Cook, Kent Farrington, Tiffany Foster, Jordan Coyle, Vanessa Mannix, and finishing off with Alexis Sokolov and Calciat EBZ. So of the 39 to go in all at the moment, we've seen just over half of that, with 7 of them producing a clear. We'll see if it's a strong lineup coming through the latter part there. We see Kent Farrington, Orafina, Carl Cook, with Caillou once again, the Super Grey. Now we'll move on to Kristen van der Veen. Bull Runs Risen for the Bull Run Jumpers, the now 16-year-old. For the twice World Cup final rider. And again, prolific winner of classes, as she has been over the last few seasons. Not quite as many this year, but she's certainly capable of taking a few number ones away yet into... We're not quite finished in 2022 yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had Kristen's had a little bit of a break from the Major League circuit. We saw her on a lot of the legs back to back over the summer months, but this is actually her first Major League show back since Ottawa, and she rode Bull Runs Risen in the 5-star Grand Prix there, just a couple of fences down, but finished just outside the top 10 in the 5-star Grand Prix at Traverse City as well. Then she went to over to the East Coast and jumped at the Bridgehampton show, Saugerties and New York, and then went to Lexington as well with this horse. But as you say, a rider who's really got quite a lot of experience now. She's 78th in the Longines World Rankings. And yes, 2 World Cup finals to her name, one in Leipzig, that was with Bull Run's Prince of Peace. That was this year. And then in Paris in 2018. Another rider who did well in the North American Youth Championships back in the day as well.
That's how they all start. Coming home nicely, but with a fence down for Kristen van der Veen and Bull Runs Risen. So just going to leave them on the 4:77.04. So just tucking inside that time allowed of 78 on the 4 faults for Kristen. Yeah, the plank no problem at all, just hurdled that easily. Again, nicely down the line from the triple bar, and then this is the butterfly double a little bit later on into the course. Kristen van der Veen, though, going into 11th place for that one down. Mexico, Patricio Pascal Seringat, the chestnut 16-year-old gelding, the Celle Francais by Chef Rouge, now in the hands of the rider for Mexico. And on the Trailblazers team for a ride, amongst others, of Spanish rider Alvaro Arzethnar. Eduardo Arzethnar. And let's see how they fare today. Another good pairing that could well shake this one up yet. Lily Keenan giving us the first clear. We'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, Lily Keenan, of course, also on the Trailblazers, so potentially her teammate Patricio Pascal could get in there with her. He's been riding this horse quite extensively over the recent months. Went to Spruce Meadows with this horse and then jumped a few shows in Mexico, jumping in the 4-star Grand Prix at Quapex-Pan and then jumping in the 5-star competitions at San Miguel and Monterrey, both times in the 5-star Grand Prix. It was in the top 20 in the 5-star Grand Prix at Monterrey. Good result there. But yeah, one that he's had since the summer of this year. But a firm fixture at the 5-star level already.
Yeah. Easily enough down that line, but also sitting on the 4 faults. The 4 faults is just going to be thinking about getting a bit of pace into their round as well, because they could be picking up money yet.
Had quite a rattle at the A element there. Lucky to keep that up.
Moves around at a good pace. 76.11, finishing on the 4 into 11th spot. So just in that money so far for Patricio Pascal. Just unfortunately gets underneath that golden plank again. That can just get a little bit short. And so tips the one fence away for Patricio and Seringat this time around into 11th spot, as we say. Jennifer Waxman now, and lovely to see her with Lavalino Teclomp. And Jen, who's been riding this horse, actually was 5th in the World Cup qualifier in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and on the 11-year-old Belgian bred horse by Clearway. Unfortunately, not the first to have the first. Caught a few so far.
Yeah, it has caught a few so far. Sometimes that's the way, isn't it? And it is quite a long way around this course when they have had an early fence down. She actually has been in the top 10 in her last 5 competitions with this horse. And she's been in the top 10 about 2/3 of the time actually with this horse as well, which is quite impressive considering it's a relatively new partnership.
It is. It was one that was with Shane Sweetnam that the two stables had a little bit to do with each other over the years. In terms of Shane, the Sweet Oak team was back with Shane in March of this year. Then Jennifer taking on the ride into, first FEI classes into August of this year. And so far, just that first fence that's caught them. And adds another, I'm afraid. Going to bring them home on a score of 8 in the end, +2 for time, 79.068 in all for Jennifer Waxman. And Lavolino Teclom, just that first fence there as we see, but there was no mistaking it. And there we go, with a second added late in the course, total of 10 there. And into 18th position, the 7 clears at this point of this Whittier Trust jump-off class. Erin Ballard now, Kelana Denfer, and with this 9-year-old Celle Francais by Kidam de Revel. Just as we see Jennifer Waxman making her way out of the arena. Erin Ballard of Canada coming into view, another World Championship rider. Now for Erin, oh, another one, first fence.
Catching a few people out.
Yeah, just coming down there with a bit of pace and bang it out. It just a little bit surprising for the ones we've had so far.
Erin's another of those really experienced riders on Team Lugano. She's jumped this horse on the team competition a couple of times. Jumped this horse in Monterey for the team. But she also competed in the 5-star classes at San Miguel and then both weeks in Monterey with this horse.
Just gets a little tight down to the plank, but just after giving it a touch, it stays up there. Just holding for the Calais fence. Erin's such a superb jockey to watch. Unfortunately, that one just not making the height at the Marshall and Sterling and the next. Erin just getting them back together. Nice pace through the double this time. And we'll finish on a higher note, finishing on a score of 12 jumping and 2 for time, total of 14 at 79.41 for Erin Ballard and Kelana Denfer for her. So unfortunately puts her out of the running here today. Another one to say that first fence here at the Triple Bar. Coming into view now is Niall Nassar and El Conde, former ride of Mark Blumen, but now well established with Niall through this year. Another World Championship rider. Originally from Egypt, but long time US based now. Spent quite a bit of time competing here through the California shows as well, through the early part of his career. Winner of, in the days of the $1 million class here as well.
Niall had that fantastic win recently with this horse in Toronto at the Royal Winter Fair there. That was the Royal Centennial Cup that he won. He also had a 3rd place at another 5-star competition there, 5-star speed class, and then also 2nd place in a similar competition at New York as well. And then he took this horse to Europe for a few shows in the summer, performed really well in Dublin for a 3rd place finish in the Minerva Stakes, and then also did well in Dinard, 4th place in the 3-star Grand Prix there. And then also had a win in Aachen at 5-star level with this horse as well. So it's been a really good year for this partnership.
It's a really fast partnership as well, which has been exciting to see. They've really had a lot of fun competing as well with his top horses like Igor. But into those big competitions, this one being a really good horse for little bounce and a buck. Picked off a lot of good results through the season, but yeah, just leaves them unbalanced and wrong for last. So unfortunately, last fence going with them as well, 75.97. So just puts them on the 4 on the end for Nal Nassar and El Conde. So close, but just on the 4. Into 11th place so far for Niall. Another top class rider is Dara Kenny. And Dara coming up now with Volney de Boisdeville, the 13-year-old by Winning Mood. Now for the next to the Irish riders on the Trailblazers team. Five-star Grand Prix winner around the world. Made his name really here in the US, mainly competing over in Florida. And been a good partnership now through 2022, and looking to join those, 7 clears so far. James Arkins giving the most recent one from the Australian.
Certainly a rider that you wouldn't want to bet against going through into the jump off. And as you say, Dara really did make his name in Florida quite a lot, but also has jumped extensively in Europe throughout his career, and successful and consistent results across both areas have really got him to the very top of the sport and had him near the top of the world rankings for quite some time. He's had brilliant results with this horse in New York in the 5-star competitions there, also in Rome in a 5-star speed class. And then you also jumped this horse in the Rolex Grand Prix of Dinard as well, and jumped this horse in the 5-star Grand Prix at Monaco for a 2nd place. Also had a couple of wins with this horse in Rome at the Piazza di Siena earlier on this year. So really very consistent.
Yeah, nice Grand Prix win for them down in Florida in the early part of the year. Of course, was ridden by Teddy Vlok of Israel, still owner. And there we go. Really smoothly done. Dara Kenny and Volney de Boisdeville don't have any trouble at all there as they head into the jump off as well. So Dara Kenny giving us number 8 so far of this Whittier Trust jump-off class. Dara Kenny on the zeros. So joins James Arkins, Daniel Coyle, Rodrigo Lamre, Connor Swale, Lorcan Gallagher, Mark Kinsler, and Lily Keenan, who gave us the first of the clears of the lineup at this stage. Alberto Michan, his birthday as well, I think, today too. So lots
Couple of birthdays.
Couple of birthdays. Yeah, they come around about once a year, but on different days is the thing. But Avi Michan, congratulated. So let's see whether he can also add in with fellow birthday boy Daniel Coyle from that point of view, and Quintin.
Again, this is a horse that we've seen at various legs of Major League Show Jumping this season. They competed in the 5-star Grand Prix both weeks in Monterey. Just had 5 penalties in the first week, just keeping them out of the jump off, but still a very good result for them there. Also jumped in the 5-star Grand Prix at San Miguel, a couple of fences down.
And another one here, I'm afraid, with the golden plank. Hasn't fallen for too many, but a tricky little line there that some surprise hasn't caught more. But again, it's one of those tight lines that they've really just got to concentrate and handled it well so far. Marston Sterling, little skinny there. So just on the 4. Full Falters just making the money at the moment into 10th place at this point with Margie Engel. heading home on the 4, and might be enough to put him in the money. We'll see. Just on the 4, just in the edge of it, into 12th place there for Alberto Micha and Nabal de Trivera. So 75.68 for the rider riding under the flag of Israel. Also riding for the Roadrunners this week as well. Sorry, I'm a little bit earlier on with Bugatti. That could well be his team ride. Smiling there. I think maybe getting a little birthday congratulations, but he might pick up a little bit of a gift from the lineup, but from the prize money, but just on the 4 there for Alberto Micha. Kerry Potter now, Ariel de la Sarrienne for Kerry. Another of the West Coast riders. Again, much of her jumping internationally here at the Desert Horse Park.
Yes, she hasn't done too many competitions with this horse this year, but this has been a long-term partner for her. She jumped this horse, as you say, here in Thermal in the early part of the year, then gave the horse quite a lot of time off, actually, before then doing some 2-star competitions. Now they're back up to the 5-star level. She was 19th in the 5-star Grand Prix here last year. Just had one fence down. That was in the second week of competition, and then in the first week they were 15th, just one down and one time penalty.
Yeah, but as you say, very good run through August and September through the tour of shows there, including in Paso Robles, based in Rancho Santa Fe. And just a heavy rub there. So unfortunately going to be on the 4 with just getting closer and closer, but it is going to be on the 4. Fast enough 4 as well. Goes into 11th place for Kerry Potter there, and Ariel La Sirène. And just on the 4, but just pulling that front bar away with the back legs as they head on through the double, leaving them on the 4 faults, but into 11th spot at the moment. And Jacqueline Stephens-Daly now, Freaky. And well established with this 12-year-old. She's built this horse right the way through. Went really nicely through the 2 stars. Last couple of seasons moving up to the 5 stars. Been a key player for the team, for the Eye Candy squad up to now as well. Certainly built herself through, earned her place, and had some terrific support from Erica Hatfield and the Eye Candy team over the last couple of years as well to bring them up another level.
Such a key part of Team Eye Candy, and Freaky has been a fantastic partner for her. She helped them to the win in Monterey, of course. Just one down in round 1, and then a great clear, helping them to that win and helping them get into the 2nd place in the overall season standings.
Absolutely.
She had a really good result in the 5-star Grand Prix in San Miguel as well, actually, placing 5th there. And then Jacqueline also had a really good result back in Ottawa, placing 3rd. She was 3rd to Kent Farrington and Connor Swale in the 5-star Grand Prix there.
Just steadies up for this Major League fence, just to a little touch at the back of the bar there. Now again, just into cruising speed through these last few fences. She's okay for time, mustn't rush the last, and she doesn't, and looking good. 74.71, Jacqueline Stephens-Daly, and Freaky will join the jump off order now. Gives us the 9th of the clears at this point. So the Canadian for the Eye Candy squad looking good as well. She'll be back for the decider for this Whittier Trust 155 star. Freaky getting a good patch, little pick of grass. Grand Prix winners in Mexico just a few weeks ago in San Miguel. Bliss Hears now, the US rider for Team Helios, Antidote de Mars. 12-year-old by de Montesemi, this lovely French-bred horse that we've got used to seeing so often now, especially here in the US. Also competed over in Europe. They were shortlisted on a host of championship lineups for Team USA. Really hot combination, and looks like, well, they could be another part here this week. Maybe very much at home on the turf here in Thermal.
Yeah, really good 5-star Grand Prix win for Bliss. Her first 5-star Grand Prix win, in fact, in San Miguel. And she also helped Team Helios to the win there as well. She's jumped Antidote in the 5-star Grand Prix in Monterey as well. Just had one fence down in week 1 there. But a really consistent partnership. They also were third in a 5-star Grand Prix at Valkenswaard in the summer too. And they've jumped in Nations Cups together pretty consistently. And as you say, really key face on the Major League show jumping circuit, and of course for Team Helios. All eyes on Team Helios this week and next week to see if they can get the overall season win.
Oh, very much so. Started going through the scenarios. There's so many of them. I stopped in the end. I could come up with about 200 scenarios about who might, what, where. All I could definitely come up with was the teams that won't win the championship, but that's it. That's as far as we get, with double points on the final as well. Until we've got this round out of the way, it's still quite open down the line. Looking good so far. This could be an exciting pairing to see in the jump off. Are they going to be just okay for time? 77.83. Just squeaking a nose inside that time allowed, and so clear for Bliss Hears and Antidote de Mars. Again, giving us no great surprise with that very consistent combination producing the clear. So Antidote and Bliss Hears adding to the lineup now, and it is going to be now 10 clears at this point into the double figures. Oh, in, out, no, out the other way. Go on. There's an in and out. She's going to go a little trot across the arena and go out the other way. Of course, there'll be boot check and things over there as well, so there is a reason for that. Carl Cook, in the meantime, Caillou 24, winning pairing together in Monterey for Team Helios. We were talking about that just a moment ago, so it'll be very interesting to see this week. But we've got Bliss Hears here, we've got Ashley Bond here, and Carl Cook here. So it looks like they're going to come out with all guns going, which they probably need to. Had a bit of a setback in Monterey in the second week there, but still leaves them 9 points ahead in the meantime. This many-time Grand Prix winning combination come together. Lovely to see them in action here. Go, oh no. We're just getting stuck earlier on.
That's quite uncharacteristic, isn't it?
And unfortunately, doesn't quite work out this time. Plenty of wins behind them from that point of view. Carl, I think, is just going to go and jump the first fence. Just leave them quietly on a better note. There we go, not to be this time. So deciding to retire there, Carl Cook and Caillou, I'm afraid. In the meantime, Kent Farrington rides on in. Orofina, multiple Grand Prix winning combination this season. Of course, he was the winner in Ottawa of the Grand Prix there as well. Kent on this 10-year-old Dutch-bred mare by 4 Fashion. Another rider who's been a consistent top 10 finisher. In fact, he's a winner of the Rolex top 10 before now as well. That's in Geneva each year. Takes place very soon. But such a consistent rider. Grand Prix winner. Olympic medalist for Team USA. Silver medal in 2016, of course, on the squad again in 2021 as it was moved out to in Tokyo. We get back into the cycle again, of course, in 2024 in Paris.
Yeah, and Kent's got some fantastic horses at the moment who I'm sure will be aimed at some of those very top-level competitions and championships to come. This one, of course, is one that's going really well. He comes here fresh from a 3-star Grand Prix win in Tryon. And as you say, this is also the horse with whom he won the 5-star Grand Prix in Ottawa. He's had a couple of wins at Spruce Meadows earlier this year with Orofina as well. And then also in Vancouver, winning a 5-star Grand Prix there. And then wins in Wellington at the start of the year as well. So extremely consistent.
And just taking this so easily so far. Don't want to jinx it, but gets Kentezeva just in the right spot down there. Just still coming pretty quickly at the moment too, which then suits him a nice forward pace. Oh, unfortunately just kicks out and gets the back bar of the double. There we go, just on 4 faults, 75.66 for Kent Farrington. Missing out this time with Orofina, but may well be his horse for the Grand Prix later on in the week as well. We will see. That'll, of course, be back on the turf here on Sunday. Just dips a leg and just stretches out and has that back pole down, unfortunately. Coming into the final few, looks like 7 left to go in the first round of this Whittier Trust 150. Clear so far, 10 of those at the moment. Bliss here is the most recent with Antidote de Mars. Juan Ortiz, Kinky Boy, Van Hes Gildenhoff, 12-year-old by Nabab Darev for Juan Ortiz of Venezuela. Big jumping combination.
Again, another combination that we've seen in a lot of the 5-star Grand Prix on the Major League circuit so far this season. Also had some good results in Tryon earlier on this year as well. 4th in the 2-star Grand Prix there. He jumped in both of the 5-star Grand Prix at Monterey and also in San Miguel. And this is the horse that was with Frank Schutert before Juan took over the reins earlier this year.
Yeah, Frank, who was based with Jos Lansing for a very long time. Jos, of course, the 2006 world champion. Irish rider Jack Ryan riding a few horses with him now. Juan Ortiz really plotting his way well around the course on this big horse. Just got to be a little bit careful for time. Gets there at 76.14. He'll be in for the jump off as well. Juan Ortiz and Kinky Boy Van Hes Gildenhoff will be back as number 11 on the jump off list so far. So the Venezuelan adding yet another flag into the international lineup here. USA, Canada, what do we got? Ireland, Australia, Brazil, all a part of coming back for that jump off yet for this big class of the day. Juan Ortiz on the clear. Another lovely shot of the arena here and off into the mountains in the background. And those the remaining riders: Tiffany Foster, Hamilton, Jordan Coyle, Amy Miller, Erin Davis, Heineken, Vanessa Mannix, and Alexis Sokolov as our 6 left to come. Tiffany Foster, Olympic rider for Canada, to go now. And Tiffany with the horse of Hamilton. Hamilton for the Hamilton Group, the 11-year-old Holsteiner by Quadros 3. Another one that, if memory serves, went well in Florida in the early part of the year. A few more sparing appearances later on into the season so far.
Yeah, she jumped this horse in the Nations Cup at Quapex Pan and also in Vancouver. A couple of appearances on the teams there, and then she's also taken the horse to Spruce Meadows for various 5-star competitions over the course of the year in July and also in September. Had a 5th place finish in a 5-star jump-off class at Spruce Meadows in September, and then most recently she's been in Tryon with this horse, jumping at 3-star level. Another rider with the Show Plus Northern Lights logo next to her name, so we may see her on that squad this week as well.
Absolutely, we will see. Tiffany would be a very good asset to the team as well. Just coming quietly down this line so far, plots her way through. Should come on the 5 strides, pretty standard distance down there on the 5, between 9 and 10. And they'll come up on the 6 to the Premier Equestrian Fence, and then a little bit of bend in the line to the last. She's met the time very well at 74.23, so neatly done for her, Tiffany Foster. As ever, seems to get the biggest round of applause. The Canadian into the jump-off with Hamilton. So taking us to the dozen at the moment with Tiffany Foster into that jump-off 2 of this Whittier Trust jump-off class here this afternoon. Jordan Coyle and Ariso, winner here last year into the Grand Prix onto the final week. And Jordan Coyle of Ireland with the Eland Farms 11-year-old here by Casal. Not always the most conventional in the way he jumps, the Ariso, that is, the gelding. And it has certainly done a lot of winning, including also in Vancouver that we saw them earlier on to the year as well. And yeah, could well be one to add to the list yet. We will see.
Yeah, definitely can be a rather unconventional jumper, this horse, but certainly gets the results as well. So that win here last year and in Vancouver, as you say, just demonstrating that they can win in a couple of different places, just not quite.
Unfortunately, just puts the brakes on there and comes to a complete stop, and just doesn't have the momentum to go into that triple combination, I'm afraid.
Just didn't quite have the right stride into the triple, I think. The horse is plenty experienced enough at this level and in this kind of environment.
Yeah, just been looking for a little more form later on into the last few weeks, but I think, is he going to carry on at this point? Yeah. Again, just look to get them in a better rhythm and run. Just with that blip earlier on. Just lets him come into a fence. He gets just down deep and jumps them well once they get in their groove. But unfortunately, a round to forget of them, I'm afraid. It's going to be 16 plus time, takes them to 49 at 106.99 there, I'm afraid, for Jordan Coyle and Ariso this time. To say plenty of good results on the scorecard, just not to be on today's, I'm afraid. So it is 12 in the clear round list at the moment. One going by the wayside. 4 left to come. We've still got Amy Miller, Erin Davis Heineken, Vanessa Mannix, and Alexis Sokolov at this point. Amy Miller, the World Championship rider with Truman, Olympic rider, of course, in 2016 with Heroes as well. Truman now, 13 years of age for the Millbrook Farm. By Milord Cartago, was walking the course, getting some advice from former world champion Gail Greenhow a little bit earlier on as well.
Combination from the World Championships this year, as you say, and then also from the Nations Cup at Spruce Meadows, and also comes here from 2 top 10 finishers, or top 8 finishers in fact, from Toronto.
Just stretches out a little, just unfortunately to have the plank there. Little touch of the Major League fence, but the 4-faulters now I think out of the money from that point of view. Kendall Bourgeois on 13th place on the 2 time faults. Margie Engel on 14th, so just beyond that top 12. We'll go a little bit down from there, but not to be on the 4 there. 73.53 for Amy Miller into 14th place with Truman this time, but her big aim then is going to be for Eye Candy later on into the week to see if they can put themselves into the championship race potentially. They're sitting closer now than they have been through most of the season, and now got to take it to the wire. We will see. Erin Davis Heineken now, and now for the Texan rider with NKH Cento Blue, the NKH LLC, the Bay Oldenburg Gelding by Centadel, out of Gloria Blue, which was by Chaco Blue for Erin. Joining us into the second part of the season for Major League, coming into that transfer window. Took them into October onwards. Was on the teams last year as well.
Yeah, and actually this horse was also ridden on the team competitions by Christian Heineken. This is the one that he used to help his team to a win in Monterey, but now Erin, as you say, taking over the reins, and could be another combination to look out for in that team competition.
Yeah, just gets a little looser down that line, and just kicking out the final part of the triple combination at C. Actually very quickly building quite a good partnership up with Cento Blue. Of course, you've seen it plenty of times. Husband Christian on in the saddle before that well. And Christian here on the floor. Just coming home on the 4 faults. Takes a little bit of time to line. Makes a left move in there. Just makes it just unfortunately too tight to the final fence there for Erin Davis Heineken and NKH Cento Blue. So puts them on a total of 8 and a time of 75.3. Couple left to come in the first round of this Whittier Trust class. Vanessa Mannix, and Vanessa's made a really good move up the individual rankings this season as well. Kitting Dehusseux, a 12-year-old by Winning Moods this time, and of course that top 3 finish in the Grand Prix in San Miguel as well with Kingston helps her up the list too, but has been coming out really consistent too. Trains with Connor Swale.
Yeah, that was a fantastic result for her, getting the 3rd place in that 5-star Grand Prix. This horse, Kitting Dehusseux, is another one that's been getting more and more consistent for her. She's done the 5-star classes at Spruce Meadows with this horse. We haven't seen this horse on the Major League circuit yet this year, but she did jump this horse here in Thermal last year in the 2-star competitions getting into the jump off in the 2-star Grand Prix, and then just having a couple down in the jump off round.
2 parts that triple combination. Vanessa Mannix now in 4th in the individual rankings for the season as well. In fact, has moved ahead of Connor Swale, who trains her, so she's just pushed him back a little bit there, which is nice to see. Erin Ballard in 3rd. Ken Farrington, who is long-time leader, sits in 2nd at the moment, and Shane Sweetnam at the top. But Shane not here this week, so Farrington a chance to get back to the number 1 spot, because there's not too many points between them either. Vanessa Mannix coming in on the 8. Both of those coming in the triple combination so far for them. And 12 inside the time at 76.54, so 12 in total. 3 down for Vanessa Mannix this time, with Kitting D'Urso as a little bit less experienced, that pairing together, although they've been getting a bit more exposure through the recent World Cups as well. And final rider, also from Rancho Santa Fe here in California, is Alexis Sokolov. And with the Team Roadrunners logo against her name, the young US rider, just 21 years of age, with the Hot Horses 9-year-old mare by Conor Tobolensky, Calciat EBZ, another one on the training list for Connor Swale as well.
Yes, exactly. And Connor's actually ridden this horse in the past as well, rode this horse in Tryon for a little bit before then Alexis took over the ride. And we've seen this horse in the 5-star classes in Ottawa. She jumped this horse on the team competition in Ottawa, helping them to a 4th place finish. She also helped her team to 4th place in Monterey, but she rode a different horse there, rode Vasile de Seigneur. And she's so far competed in 1 5-star Grand Prix with this horse, that being in Monterey in our 2nd week. Just having a couple of fences down there. This is going nicely so far. Horse is really getting a lot of height over some of these fences.
Yeah, again, it's been a really good year for her to get experience in the higher level classes, and is really at this tail end of the year really built in confidence, built in that experience, and helping her along, which is great to see. Alexis still on the clear at the moment. Might be just a little close to time, but we'll see. 78 being the time allowed. And good round from her, 77.29. There we go. I said it might be close. Half a second makes a difference. And Alexis Sokolov and Calciat EBZ will produce the clear as well. So what's that? 13 in all into the jump off. So Alexis will go last to that lineup. Strong lineup coming up with Lily Keenan set to go first with Aganda Belliard. They go in the same order as that first round, but Alexis Sokolov, like say, lovely to see them coming with a good confident round there. Here's the first 10 in that jump off. Lily Keenan, Arganda Belliard, Mark Kinsella, and his ride of quality age. Lorcan Gallagher, Copycat in there as well. Juan Ortiz we see there with Kinky Boy not going to jump off. That's why that was changing. Connor Swale and Theo, Rodrigo Lamre, Chapelot, Daniel Coyle, Quintin, James Arkins of Australia, Eurostar, Derek Kenny, and Volney de Bois de Ville, Jacqueline Stephens, and Freaky will give us the first group of those going into the jump off. The latter part looks like this. Bliss Here's, Antidote to Mars, Tiffany Foster and Hamilton, and finally Alexis Sokolov and Calciat EBZ. So just that one not participating in the jump off. Juan Ortiz, I think he's got his eye on the Grand Prix. We will see. Rest them, 12 of them then to go to post here to chase down the prize money in this Whittier Trust jump off class here this afternoon. We will take a breather for a moment so you can enjoy the lovely shot of the wonderful different shades of green here in this fabulous arena here at the Desert Horse Park.
13 qualifying for the jump off. In fact, 12 will be coming back for the jump off. One Ortiz and King Boyaban and Gildenhoff. They will be up and out of the jump off round. $74,200. That is up for grabs in our Whittier Trust competition. Whittier Trust has a proud heritage since 1935 with steadfast guidance through multiple generations. Whittier Trust has built success in the business of wealth management and has grown into the preeminent multifamily office headquartered on the West Coast. Our time allowed in the jump-off round, 52 seconds, 320 meters. That is the length on course. In the jump-off, as we were just doing some minor adjustments on course and taking some of those fences out of the ring. And our jump off as follows, starting at fence number 2, and that is the CP Rail signature fence. Fence number 2, straight down to fence number 3, the Whittier Trust signature fence. Now make a right-hand turn onto fence number 4, and that is the orange and white vertical. After fence number 4, straight down to fence number 5A and 5B, part of that triple combination, the C element having been removed. After fence number 5B, part of that triple combination, again, C element has been taken out. Right-hand turn on a fence number 9. And after fence number 9, left-hand turn on a fence number 11B, and that has those beautiful butterfly standards. And the gallop down to fence number 15, and that is our final fence on course. And that has the stone rails at fence number 15, final fence in the jump-off. So again, 13 qualify for the jump-off, but 12 coming back for the jump-off round. Juan Ortiz opting out of the jump-off. And our time allowed in the jump-off, 52 seconds, 320 meters. That is the length.
Getting set for the jump-off then of this Whittier Trust class here this afternoon. Here's a few of the contenders coming up for you. Lily Keenan will go first with Arganda Belliard. Juan Ortiz electing to not jump off, saving the combination for later on in the week. Mark Kinsler of Ireland, Quality H. Lorcan Gallagher of Ireland, a few there for Ireland, of course. Lorcan Gallagher, Copycat, Connor Swale, Theo 160, Rodrigo Lamre, not of Ireland, but of Brazil, with Chapelot, Daniel Coyle of Ireland. With Quintin, Australia's James Arkins, Eurostar, Derek Kenny, Ireland, with Volney of Wideville and Jacqueline Steffens there with Freaky. That's just the first part of the lineup for the jump off here. 13 qualifying for it, 12 are actually going to jump off, a dozen to go for the money. Final few include Bliss Hears, Antidote Demars, Tiffany Foster, Anne Hamilton, and finally Alexis Sokolov and Calciet EBZ to complete the rundown of those going into the jump off over the shortened course designed by Michelle Valancourt, our course designer here this week. First one making their way down. Here's a few of the shots from a little bit earlier on. That's Derek Kenny with Volney. And that is live because that is Lily Keenan, Arganda Belliard, World Championship rider, and this season winner of that Grand Prix just a few weeks ago in Monterey. Shortened course looks like this. It's fence 2, the CP fence to start off. Then they go off on that left-hand turn to the Whittier Trust vertical. Roll back then to the Cabana Coast fence. It was the 5 strides up before to the what's now a double, was a triple combination, 5A and 5B. 9 after that, so they're coming out to that Marshall and Sterling fence, little skinny there at 9. Final line sees them go over 11B, which is the butterflies. We've taken 12 away, and so we now have a good half acre up to the last few on course. So that's actually due to be fence 13. And looks like we've made a change. It's actually going to go fence 15 to finish off. So, over the Whittier Trust fence at fence 2 as the last on course. Roll back here to the Cabana Coast. Little move up there to say is now the double coming across the centre. Marshall and Sterling fence again. Can't cut that one too much as it's a fairly narrow fence to come up to. Lily Keenan looking good so far. So this is where the change comes as they go to the left-hand side. Little late change to move to that fence there to the stones. Going clear at 40.77. And good start for Lily Keenan. Double clear for her in this afternoon's class. You see a good cut across the CP fence to start her off. And there notches up a good one to start with. 40.77 from Lily Keenan. Hannah, that's what they've got to beat.
Yeah, a really good way to lay down the standard, Lily Keenan. I think there were a couple of places that potentially we might see a couple of riders try to go a little bit more quickly, but it's a very experienced horse for her, and she may well be aiming that horse at the Grand Prix, but certainly a great double clear to kick things off and a good pace down this final line as well, 40.77.
Mark Hinsler now, and Quality H for the Irishman. And the Hannah variant gelding by Quaid for Mark, who's going to be part of the Spy Coast team. He's winding up. Looks as though he's going to go for the ground speed. And then gets the 8.
Little bit of a wider turn back there, but kept a bit more of a pace up.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to say a little bit more for the ground speed. Lily's was just very efficient from that point of view. Little squeeze up there to the Marshall and Sterling fence. Back to the butterflies. Time, I could say to beat is 40.77. Just gets tangled up in the butterflies. It was going to be just a fraction quicker at 38.78, which I say we thought he might just get a little bit more pace there, but unfortunately cost them. Finishing on the 4 there for Mark Hinsler, and there for Quality H. So Lily Keenan keeps the lead so far, but as we can see by the time, is vulnerable. Drops a leg and scrambling, unfortunately, at the butterfly fence. Lorcan Gallagher will take a look across there as well with Copycat. Copycat, the 9-year-old for the Lost Lake Farm of Washington. As the bred-in pace of Comme il faut. So we'll see. Hasn't had a chance to really unleash this horse too many times yet. We'll see what they do today on this 9-year-old. Just getting tight up to that left side. Looks like he gets the 7 down there, but then just goes thrown a little bit wider after that Whittier Trust fence. Unfortunately, dragging away the Marshall and Sterling fence, loses the pace in there and is getting adrift out to the butterflies. It just starts to unravel, I'm afraid. Just a little unbalance coming through. Just going to get their rhythm back. There we go. There'll be some time to add in here as well, and time allowed at 52. So 54, 56 takes them up to 11 for Lorcan Gallagher, and Copycat Lily Keenan keeps the lead at the moment.
Yeah, very smart to keep the double clear as well, because that's starting to look like it will be very competitive.
Yep, long way to go yet though, and with Lorcan Gallagher out the way, it is on to Irish World number 5, Connor Swale, Theo 160 for Team Phillip Arts, the 10-year-old by Christian 25. I think he's just going to have a little rehearsal of the turn 2. Just having a little look around there to the butterfly fence. Swale getting over to just get himself an angle, yeah, across that fence. Still gets the same number of strides, but just saves a few inches. Nice pacey 5 into the double. He's probably got more pace than Lily Keenan coming to these fences so far. This is a good tight turn. They've narrowed up this Oxford a little bit as well, just to give them a chance at it. And this is going to be looking very good if he gets home and leaves this here. It is going to be 36.83, and we did expect it would be a potentially a lot quicker round than Lily's 36.83. So Lily Keenan's a nice round, but it does put Connor Swale in the lead now on 36.83. Takes 4 seconds off the lead nearly, with Lily Keenan in second on 40.77.
Yeah, good way in front, Connor Swale, nearly 4 seconds, in fact, in front of the time of Lily Keenan. As you say, he just had a quicker pace across the ground throughout that round. Just kept things nice and smooth and nice and quick all the way around. Very efficient riding.
Rodrigo Lambre now, and Chapelot for Mario Nate. Good experienced 15-year-old horse now. Really tight there at the CP fence. He's already saving a little bit. I think we could, if we will see, we could see times down to 35 if they really pull it off. The hard bit is to get that tight turn back to the Cabana Coast. Or keep it tight back to the Cabana Coast.
Yes, exactly. Keep it tight and not lose any of the rhythm as well. And then here again, they need to make a tight turn back, but they need to give themselves enough room.
Yeah, he was just trying to get the curve. It just ended up underneath it, I'm afraid. But you look at the time, 37.3, and on the 4. So remind you that Connor Swale's time, 36.83. Connor was just a little bit more efficient from the Whittier Trust fence back to the Cabana Coast on that loop back there. But just on the 4 for Rodrigo Lambre. Tried to get there, but got underneath that butterfly fence. Just having a look now is Daniel Coyle, who will be the next to have a spin at it. Daniel just having a discussion with Michelle Valancourt, the course designer down there. Daniel Coyle and Quintin. These have seen this pair be very fast before, and the way they start.
Yeah, he's really got an eye on this class, hasn't he?
Yeah. Keeps moving around this turn. That's pretty efficient so far. A little bit more explosive power from these pair. And he's going to come tight to this. If it works, it's good. 36.83 to beat. He's got an exceptional chance with this, but 33.68. Final fence on the 4 there for Daniel Coyle to take him into 3rd with Quintin. He'd almost got it done.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. He really went for the time, really went for that final line, but you can see the disappointment on his face as well. Would have been a good birthday present.
Would have been a good birthday present. Yeah, didn't seem to catch that by much, but couldn't quite see it in detail. But there we go. 4 for Daniel Coyle and Quintin, but 33.68. There's me saying 35. Okay, they can go even faster than that. Daniel Coyle, I'm afraid, though, will go into 3rd. James Arkins now, Eurostar for the Arkins Farming Company back in Australia. All getting wide out to get the cut across here.
Probably the widest approach that we've had there, actually. Furthest over to the right.
And drops the second part. You get a good shot there of that Marshall and Sterling fence, as I say. Skinny fence to get across there, and being plain white. Some to see there, but not any breaking up of the colours. On the 4. Tidy enough to the last 38.82 from that point of view. Again, gives an idea. Lily Keenan's round in 2nd place at the moment. Connor Swell leading on 36.83 at the moment. Lily in 2nd on 40.77. So there was definitely some meat left on the bone there, but she did get the double clear. So she's sitting in good money slot at the moment. Dara Kenny takes another look with Teddy Vlock and the Vlock Show Stables, Volney de Wadeville. Saint Francais by Winning Mood. Dara very accomplished at this type of stealing a class away. Again, it's just going to want efficiency here. A lot based on the turns. And that's one of the most efficient so far.
Very good quick turn back.
Lands there in 18, gets quickly away from the double. Just a little bit to the right there to give him that extra little bit of space to get the curve back to the butterfly fence. Needs to keep coming to stand a chance. It might not be quite enough. It's a nice round, but it's going to, it is going to be 35.5. It was looking maybe a tiny fraction behind coming into the last, but there we go. Gets the job done, and it's there. One of those key turns, really did that so efficiently. And here again, he's got it worked out on the turn, watching it all the way, just stride away, picks up and gone. So 35.5. Dara Kenny now leads the way with Volney de Wadeville. Leaving us, 4 left to go here. Jacqueline Stephens Daly and Freaky. On this 12-year-old. So, new target set by Dara Kenny. 35.5. We saw all the way down to 33 with Daniel Coyle. Good turn back there from Jacqueline too. And if she can pull this off, she's not going to be far away. Doesn't quite. Just gets a little bit unbalanced on the turn there. So leaves her on the 4, 36.65. So otherwise would have gone into second place there, close up to the time of Connor Swells, just a fraction quicker than him, but a fence down on the way. Turns up here and just not quite got the footing behind. Into fifth place so far for Jacqueline. Leave us, 3 left to take a run at that leading time set by Dara Kenny and Volney de Bois de Ville. And one that can is Antidote de Mars. And USA's Bliss here is from Las Vegas, Nevada. US rider on Team Helios as well. Like many, just coming for a little rehearsal. Again, they can be confident on this good grass surface too. Lovely to have that ability to just feel you can really trust the footing here. Really well put together. Real thought gone in producing the grass here at the Desert Horse Park. Again, it's a small horse, but gets a lot of ground cover. Goes wide of that Dara Kenny down that line. Dara was just so efficient on those 2 big turns there, and back to the butterflies. Pulls this off though, she's not going to be far away. Pick up down to the last fence, and a decent time, not a leading time, but a good time at 38.63. Into third place for Bliss Hears and Antidote de Mars this time. So she goes in third. Lily Keenan in fourth. Connor Swell in second so far. Dara Kenny still leading with Volney de Bois de Ville on 35.5. There is a little bit of daylight in there yet. We saw down to 33s. A little bit earlier on with Daniel Coyle. Tiffany Foster left to come, and then finally with Alexis Sokolov. Now is the turn back tight enough? Looking good so far. Tiffany Foster and Hamilton. Little bit safer on the turn there. And unfortunately, doesn't work out for them. On the 4. Leaves them at the 4, just over the 40 mark at 40.344 for Tiffany Foster of Canada, and Hamilton. So Dara Kenny very much in the driving seat at the moment with Volney de Bois de Ville on 35.5. Leaving the 1 left to come. Certainly in the leading position, Darrett with Connor Swell behind. Irish 1-2. Bliss Hears in third at the moment. Lily Keenan in fourth place. Fifth place for Daniel Coyle and Quinton. Alexis Sokolov is going to be last to go. Kelsey at EBZ. A tough ask for her to get to that of Dara Kenny, but we'll certainly give it a good spin for this 21-year-old that's really developed so nicely through this year so far. Look lovely and confident into round 1. Good roll back to this Cabana Coast. But unfortunately leaves her just that little bit too close to it. Gave it a very good effort though. And just the final fence. So we know that Dara Kenny's going to be a winner. Finishing on 4 there at 42.91. 4 there for Alexis Sokolov and Kelsey at EVZ. So that will leave them on the full faults in the end. Into 11th place, it's a win for Dara Kenny and Volney de Bois de Ville in this $74,200 Whittier Trust 150. Congratulations to them. And for the rest, it is further down for Collar Swale and Bliss Hears in second and third. We'll give you that full rundown in just a moment. Reminder too, tomorrow afternoon coming up is the team event for Major League Show Jumping. And then on Sunday, the Grand Prix here from the Desert Horse Park, the first of 2 of the 2 weeks here of big competition as well. So Alexis Sokolov rounding up the competition here. And presentation, and going to catch up with Dara Kenny as well, our winner. Dara Kenny finishing first. Volney de Bois de Ville for Teddy Vlock and his team. Second place to Connor Swale and Theo 160. Third going to Bliss Hears and Antidote to Mars, as we confirm there. Fourth place to Lily Keenan of the USA and Argand de Belliard. Fifth place to Daniel Coyle and Quintin, while we see sixth place Jacqueline Stephens and Freaky. Seventh to Rodrigo Lambre and Chapelot. Eighth to Mark Kinsella and Quality H 9 and 10 with James Arkins, Eurostar and Tiffany Foster and Hamilton. So that's the full lineup. Dara Kenny is the winner. Presentation is on its way, and in just a moment Hannah's also going to be catching up with our winning rider as well, is the plan. So we'll be getting the words of Dara Kenny to see how that went, but some really efficient turning as an experienced rider will show around the course there, and nice done from Dara to pick up another win here at the Desert Horse Park, and takes him well into the week for week 1 of Major League Show Jumping.
For the USA in 11, and Morgan Gallagher and Copycat for Ireland in 12. Since their founding in 1935, Whittier Trust has lived their mission of putting a client's needs first, modeling service excellence from the top down. They focus on their clients' wide range of personal, family, and business needs, giving them a unique perspective for problem solving, support, and consultation.
Dara, congratulations. That was a fantastic performance, and you must be very excited about this horse for the rest of the week.
Yeah, he jumped excellent today. I was really happy with him. He'll jump the Grand Prix on Sunday, so it's great that he feels in form.
And will we see you on the team competition as well?
Yeah, I'll jump for the Trailblazers tomorrow, and that should be good fun, and hopefully it goes well.
And you were saying earlier that this is a beautiful venue, isn't it? The arena's just looking so fantastic, and it suited this horse well.
Yeah, it's fantastic ground. Like, they've done an amazing job with it. It jumps brilliant, and my horse really, really enjoyed it today, so it was great.
Well, congratulations and best of luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
And that was the winner of the Whittier Trust $74,200 competition. That was Derek Kenny. That rider for Ireland. He's going to get back on his mount. As of Dubois Deville. And we'll bring our top three back in the ring for these presentations in just a moment. Always great to hear some words from the winning rider. We'll get that winning horse back in the ring in just a second. So Ireland, USA top three. And Lily Keelan and Argand de Belliard for the USA in fourth. Daniel Coyle and Quinton in fifth. Sixth, Jacqueline Stephens and Freaky for Canada. Rodrigo Lombre, that's the Brazilian rider. And Chapilot in seventh place. Mark Hinslott, Quality H for Ireland in eighth. James Arkins, a rider from down under from Australia. Eurostar 1 in ninth. Tiffany Foster for Canada in 10th place. Alexis Sokolov, Young Gun for the USA in 11th. And Lorcan Gallagher in 12th place, also for Ireland. Our top three coming back to the ring. The rider in a third place for the USA, Bliss here is aboard Antidote de Mars. In a second, and that's the Irish rider there. That is Connor Swell and Theo 160. And brand new cooler aboard Volney Dubois Deville, the rider for Ireland. And they win to Derek Kenny. And Catherine Weichman and Devin Wyckoff joining us for these presentations on behalf of Whittier Trust. There is our champion once again, the rider for Ireland. And one of the 9 nations represented. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to honor our champion, I would ask you to please rise for the playing of the Irish National Anthem. Well, certainly a good day for Team Ireland. First and a second in the Whittier $74,200 competition. And we'll have that official photograph taken with our champion right there. And Devin Micah and Catherine Weichman joining us on behalf of Whittier Trust. Whittier Trust has a proud heritage since 1935 with steadfast guidance through multiple generations. Whittier Trust has built success in the business of wealth management and has grown into the preeminent multifamily office headquartered on the West Coast. As we will have the official win photograph taken with Derek Kenny. And that wonderful horse, that is Volney de Bois de Ville, owned by Teddy Vlock of Brantford, Connecticut. Well, that photograph now in the history books. Just one more thing to do, and then we'll ask Derek Kenny to lead our field in our victory ride. On our top three, Ireland in first with a rider right there. That is Derek Kenny. Derek Kenny, awesome in that jump-off round, 35.50 seconds. And that is our winning time. Connor Swill in second place aboard Theo 160. Bliss Hears. And the top placing American rider in third place aboard Antidote de Mars. But Derek Kenny for Ireland taking home top honors in the Whittier Trust $74,200 competition right here. Part of the 2022 Desert Holiday Week #1, our CSI 5-star event. Derek Kenny, awesome job. Congratulations taking home top place. Connor Swill in second. And third to Bliss Hears for the USA. And great thanks to Whittier Trust, wonderful sponsor of this competition. Trusts are a journey for many, and they can have a profound impact on your family. There comes a time when you need additional knowledge, support, and continuity to protect your family's wealth. Whittier Trust is a state-chartered wealth management company with a proven track record in serving families. And thank you so much for joining us. Great competition all throughout the day here in this beautiful grass stadium. Part of the 2022 Desert Holiday, our first week of 3 weeks of competition. And that will conclude the day. Thank you so much for joining us. And please take care. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition. That'll be the 4th of 5 days of competition.